Welcome to Mike's Moment of Conversations at the intersection of art, culture, and lived experience. I'm your host, Michael Sean Harris, and today's moment is a meaningful one. I am joined by Dr. Lantoinette Stines, director, choreographer, scholar, and founder of Lacadco, whose work has helped define a Caribbean contemporary movement language grounded in identity, memory, and spirit. Our paths have crossed over the years as a student, as a collaborator, and through a shared artistic community. So, this conversation is both personal and expansive. Today, we explore what it means to carry culture in the body and to express it with intention. This is Mike's moment of cultural embodiment. Welcome, Dr. Steins.
Wow, what an introduction. Wow. It sounds like spirit, mind, and body coming together as one.
Yeah, boy. Yes.
That's how it sounds.
Yes.
Thank
How you do?
you.
How you do?
Well, I'm good. I'm giving thanks for life, and giving
Yes.
thanks for this beautiful country, Jamaica, and all the artistry that comes out of it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
fine, thank you.
Good.
And
You
you?
know, I am good. I'm good. I'm here in the US, but so I won't say too much, but and
Yeah.
but I'm making the best, and I wish I could be there in person to give you the big hug I usually give you.
I was just thinking about it. I said to somebody, the best hug in the world. And you always smell beautiful.
Oh, thank you,
So the
thank
hug
you.
and the smell come together. Whoa, you're in heaven.
I love that.
Yes, yes, true.
Okay. Um, I know I have limited time with you. I mean, but I want to because there's so much stuff I want to ask you about. Anyway,
Yes.
if we don't get to maybe you'll get to everything, maybe you'll consent to our part two. But let's hopefully we get to everything. Um,
Okay.
all right. So I
Okay.
mean, with all the things that I have known of you and admired about you, I titled this cultural embodiment, and I think it kind of encompasses so much of what you do and what you're
Yes, yes.
about.
Yes, yes.
So when you hear that phrase, um, what does that mean to you today? Like cultural embodiment.
For me, and this is a strange thing to say. For me, that is my dance company, Lacadco. Cultural embodiment. For me, my aim as a young choreographer, and it never stopped, is to embody the history of my country, the
Hmm.
ancestral memories, what is happening socially, politically, culturally. And in my technique that I developed, the body becomes an archival space. It's
Okay.
where we store information that I don't want to get lost.
Mm.
So as you study the technique, you are storing Kumina, you are storing Bingi, you are storing Brockings, you are storing our understanding of classical ballet, because as I say to everyone, when the ship landed, it landed with those cultures. It
Hmm.
landed with Africa, Asia, and Europe.
Yeah.
And they're all in my country, Jamaica. And the first training that was offered to us when it comes to a studio training, because you have to train for dance coming out, but a
Mm.
dance studio training was black ballet. And so it is still there. So I am our land tech, our language that we work with is an embodiment of our culture.
Okay. So all right. So your beginnings with the dance training was probably more like ballet and modern and some folk. But when did you begin to see movement as a language and not just expression?
I have to fix the beginnings. I had a very interesting mentor who
Oh,
recently
oh yes,
died.
please.
Her funeral was Friday, Alma Mokian.
Ah,
And we would have a ballet class, and then she would have a real Kumina person come teach us Kumina. So
okay.
this
So
started
you had
with that,
everything.
and then my mother never knew I was going on the corner down one road to the Baptist people and on the roadside. So all of that was happening to me at the same time. But the end part of your question, remind me the end part of your question.
So when did you begin to say
Dance as
movement as a
language.
language and not just
Uh,
expression?
let me tell you, when I was in New York City, and
Okay.
I realized that all kind of people were calling things Caribbean, in modern dance.
Hmm.
And people were having Caribbean dance class. And then when I go into the class, I wondered how it become that because Trinidad can't represent Jamaica, Jamaica can't represent Trinidad. It's not a goulash, you know. It's not a thing where I can go and dance Cuban dances, Orisha dances, or Cuban. Every single island has its own identity,
Mm-hmm.
and where the how I speak patois is not how a Trinidadian speak broken English. It is not how a Bayesian accent, you know, it's none of that. We all have our own identities, maybe based on the Africans that landed and the Europeans that landed, because some of those accents, you know, is very slightly Scottish, you know, and slightly
Yeah, yeah,
Irish and
yeah.
slightly all of that.
Right.
Is when I realized that the body also dances in patois, in a language. So for me, I always told everybody that Lantec is dancing in patois. And for me, it is a language that communicates all of what I said before, the history and everything. It is a language that, because for me, choreography, you know, is you have a word, you make a sentence, then you make a paragraph, and then you make
Mm-hmm.
a song, and then you have a piece of choreography. But you have a language threading through that choreography. A language that when the curtain opens, for me, the curtain mustn't open and you don't know it's Jamaica. You mustn't get
Mm-hmm.
confused. The
Mm-hmm.
moment that curtain open, you're supposed to know Jamaica on stage. Not Trinidad, not Barbados, Jamaica. Because I can't do Barbados walk up the way them walk up. I can't represent Barbados. I have things in my work that is borrowed, like Yan Valou from Haiti, that was brought to us by Madame Lavinia Williams from who studied in Haiti, you know, and and so what, but for us maybe it isn't even Yan Valou. Maybe it is representing the rivers and the oceans and the waves that happens in the back and happens in the arms, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So so because when I watch a Haitian do Yan Valou, you know, it is very much not how a Jamaican do it. We
Right.
put our
Right.
own thing and until it end up look like Gully Creeper, till it end up look like other
Yeah.
things, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that in New York City I realized that the language of Jamaica was missing in contemporary dance.
Okay.
And I said to myself, you know, I have this rule: don't complain. If it bother you, fix it. The more you complain, it not get fixed. If you
Right.
feel that language, your identity is not represented in contemporary dance, then go and do something that represents something in contemporary
Right.
dance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did.
I love that. I have there's a because I don't know if you know how that I'm very much I don't know what the word is passionate about folk music and folk culture and exploring it and
Right. Yeah,
picking it
I
apart
know.
and making new things out of it.
And you do wonderful things with it. Oh
Thank
my God, it's so
thank
exciting.
you, thank
So
you. So
exciting.
I was gonna ask you about about like because when I listen to patois, there's and it depends on even where in the island it comes from.
Oh
There's
Lord.
a
There
rhythm
are
and a
some
melody
parts
to it.
I don't understand what I'm saying at all.
Yeah, but everywhere have its own melody and rhythm, and
Yes,
its own
yes.
inflection. And so even because you are dancing in patois, this dance movement for somebody from Montego Bay might
Mm.
be slightly different for somebody from Spanish Town. In
But
a way.
I can explain that, you see, with a codified technique, codified specific, like how you do a plie in ballet, and it's codified, okay?
Mm,
So it becomes Lanteg itself becomes its own language now.
right.
It's not like it's now trying to imitate all of Pato all around the island of
Gotcha.
Jamaica.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is that I have codified a language
Mm-hmm.
in which you see the hips of what we use all the time, everywhere in the whole of Jamaica.
Gotcha.
In which
Gotcha.
you see the back that is used every time all over Jamaica. In which you feel the creation of dancehall. In
Mm-hmm.
which you feel the memory of the ancestors and the liberation through Brookings. In which you feel the prayers that the ancestors did to cause the revolution through Kumina,
Mm-hmm.
in which you see resistance and revolution of Rastafari Nyabingi. Inside, so I've taken from specific things and created a codified way of moving
Okay.
that can be identified with not only by Jamaicans, but by any creed, color, class in the whole world now.
Right, 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 right.
So no matter
It,
what nationality you are, you can take it and have an appreciation for what it represents.
okay. Well, I have some questions. You're going in the right order. So, because the question I was going to ask, and you kind of answered it, but you can even go deeper. Like, what does
Yes.
it take to actually codify a movement language? Like, where do you begin? Is it observation? Is it
No,
intuition?
you bring by being mad. That is the right answer. You
I
begin
love
by
that.
being slightly mad because it is so much easier to go into a studio and do what exists already. You just copy. You just
Yeah,
have to copy and paste.
yeah,
Copy
yeah.
and paste. Okay, so you know a play, do a play. You know a ground back more, do a ground back more. You know a paddlebury, do a paddlebury. You know a triplet, do a triplet. You know a contraction. It is much, much easier. But I am going to say something that most people are going to say that is true. She really mad. I honestly think that I was given this job by God. Because if I wasn't given this job by the divine, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like when I went to do the PhD. After in the PhD, I said, "What am I doing? Are you crazy? This is madness. What are you doing here?" But that's where you begin. And then now you allow your body to listen. You allow your spirit to listen. You cannot be too academic, too, oh, I'm going to figure this out. It's A, B, and no, just allow the music, the rhythms, the memories of the ancestors to carry you through.
Hmm.
And what came from that was something I would never think that I could do by myself. I honestly believe I was assisted by the God, assisted by the ancestors, assisted by my own dancers' energies, you know. And so to end up with a finger that looked like this, and then to find out, because I'm trying to represent what is in Jamaica, and India is heavily in Jamaica. Because
Hmm.
after doing it, years after, finding out it's an Indian mudra.
Yeah.
To do movement that after doing it, you find out, oh yeah, that is so.
Okay.
Because I allowed my body, and then at a point after years and years, I decided to codify now. Write it down. And I have this amount of port de bras, this amount of um, uh, uh, spi- spirals, this amount of, I don't even know that I had all of that. So now Landtech is from level 1 to level 6, and it is not only codified, it is now examinable. And, and you go from level 1 to professorship. And to go from level 1 to percept takes time, and it takes to knowing, and you are an intelligent dancer. You're a dancer who knows your culture, not only on the body, but because you have to understand the history of Kumina. you so you're a dancer that can go into any room and lecture on, this is what it is, that is why it happened, the foot is on the floor, doing what academics call inching, what Kumina people don't know that word.
Hmm.
Them call it the Africa step, but you
Hmm.
know it in depth. Each thing that is in there. You also know what's a demi plie, grand plie, passe, développé. You know this is an Indian mudra. You know your toes are off the floor because it comes from Katak, India Katak. You know bubble shuffle come out of the dancehall energy. And so it took me years. When people tell me they created a technique in 6 months, but no, sir, no technique that. Something wrong. It took me years because then I didn't research all those things until I wrote my thesis on how to develop a technique.
Okay.
And when you're writing on how to develop a technique, because I decided that you have to purge, you have to relearn all kind of some things you have to do, is when you start to look at the movement more in depth to realize what you really created. So then you have right the examination part of it, you
Hmm.
know. So it took time, it took years, and the codification part I was assisted by more than one person, you know.
Hmm.
The even the my own daughter Amania was very helpful. Jessica Shaw was extremely helpful in that.
Hmm.
And so And so it took a team of us when it comes to that part. When it comes to the body now, it's me. It's
Okay.
me and my ancestors and my madness.
Got you. Okay. So you said something, but how do you, and I guess it's probably with the team, because after doing this for the years, as you say, I imagine all so many different things, as you said as well, start to amass, you start
Mm.
to file these many things, this many things. How do you now decide what stays and what goes? I heard you said the word purge, but I don't know if that's what you
All
did.
right, all right. When you say purge, I wrote in that it's the hardest thing to do. The body, it stores information.
Hmm.
The body has its own memory. You know, you can learn a dance and don't do it for 10 years. And you play the music and you start to dance.
Yes.
You don't, but it's not you remember, it's your body.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Your body start to do things that is the dance. Okay. So the hardest thing for me, and I had to accept it. I'm trained first with classical ballet. And I'm trying to create a contemporary technique where a dancer trained in the technique can get into any company abroad. So when you leave me, like for example, Orion left me to Lion King.
Hmm.
Adrian left me to a ballet company in Germany. I can, somebody else left me to somewhere else because they had so much of that. The training has is what I call sinner bridging. Sinner bridging is when it is synergized to bridge cultures. So
Okay.
you don't walk a ballet walk, then stand up like a Jamaican girl. You don't walk a ballet walk, then do a little Kumina step. While you're dancing, what we call Kumina Bure, your foot is in fifth position doing what Kumina would have happened on the floor.
Right.
And your bottom is moving and your arms are fluid, going through what we call what ballet called port de bras. But we have a very different set of port de bras from classical ballet. We so while you're doing the movement structure, you're almost same time codifying.
Okay.
Things are happening. What I keep and what I leave now. That wasn't the question you should ask. They might have forced me to stop. And recently, a step was added because my body did it. And I
Okay.
said to them, and I fight, I revolted. I said, listen, my body, and it's a Kumina flanke double turn.
Okay.
So there's a step called flanke in Kumina.
Hmm.
And I found my body doing the step, and my body then went into a double turn with my feet. And it's that step just got added.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but because it's so many things in Lantic,
Hmm.
then beg me to stop.
Yeah.
The,
But
the ancestors kept giving me messages still.
and they probably will still give, so they need to be open to more coming eventually,
Yeah,
because
yeah, 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 yeah.
because
Thank you, Michael. Say it again.
because if the culture is alive, you
Yeah,
can't you can't choke
yeah.
off the
The-
source.
You can't
I
do that.
mean,
But some people think they can, but you can't because that came through, and
yeah.
I was not going to give it up because I can't give it up. It's given to me as a gift. It's
Hmm.
given to me as a gift. And
Yeah.
what happens is when I leave this country to teach, the class is like a history dance lesson. And I said dance because I define dance as different from dance. Dance has three A's, and
Okay.
dance is Daunce. And in
Yeah.
my thesis, I can't remember all of them, so don't ask me. I have the 10 commandments of dance and the 10
Okay.
commandments of dance.
Okay.
And because the, for dance, you're not supposed to have no bottom. You're not supposed to relate to the drums. You're not supposed to move your spinal column the way you move it.
Hmm.
You can't have breasts
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
dance. And you're not grounded on the earth. You're elevated. But for
Okay.
dance, you're allowed to do anything. Move the
Hmm.
shoulders, move the hips, and you have to remember ancestral memories.
Right.
Yeah.
We're getting into that. So I was gonna ask, and maybe I need to change it. I was gonna ask, how do you keep a codified system from becoming rigid? But the real question is, how do you encourage the team to not be rigid with the codified system, which is what we're talking about?
All right. All right. The codified system have a certain percentage of rigidity.
Okay.
But then there's a section in the technique called spirit dance.
Okay.
Spirit dance is when the drum or the music play and you do anything you want. You must
Hmm.
allow your spirit to
Yes.
move how you want. So if the spirit says sit down on the ground and just go so, then you do that. If your spirit say you want to turn and turn and turn and turn, you do whatever. And in that section is your moment.
Okay. All right. So I have been, and I've been having these because I have lots of conversations with lots of wonderful people, and
Yes.
I've been I've been having conversations with my good friend Mikey Bennett and a few others about codifying reggae, different styles of reggae, and what happens in it. And so my question is, what can musicians, actors, other artists learn from your process about the process of codification? Because a lot of it has not happened yet in the other aspects of the arts.
Well, I think for us with reggae music, it is very important.
Yep.
I think it is very important because people have a way to say it's them create the thing, but they never create it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is important because it's a blessing that came to us from, again, ancestors.
Right.
The fact that we have different ways of doing it is not going to be the complication here, because then you have to codify A, codify B, codify C, and show why it is different.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it
Mm-hmm.
different? What makes A different from B, different from C, different from D? And one of the most important, I think, that European anthropologists did to us is that they come into our spaces, them realize we don't write. Them realize, so guess what? Them go back and give everything a name.
And it filter through their thing and is something
And
else.
it filters through their lens.
Yeah.
It filters through a lot of hegemony. It filters through quite a few things, because there is a man who wrote that the black people in the slave, them just jump up and down. They don't know it's African dance, so them it look like jump up and down.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's how he documented. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
why it's important? Because we must document it. We must write down and give it name it ourselves.
Yeah.
Naming is, I believe in naming.
I found I found there's resistance. I mean, I can speak for the music part, and for different reasons. Some parts of it is gatekeeping. Some people say, "Well, this is me to this, and nobody else can do it but me." And I'm going to tell you it must go, but you can't really describe where it's supposed to go. And then other people are probably um threatened maybe from somebody who's saying, okay, I've been studying and I want to help codify blah blah blah, and they're like, where I go with that? you know
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So I mean, how do we get around that? Can you?
I find that is one of the hardest questions to answer, because I have that too. I have people coming from all over the world wanting to. Sometimes the guys is to help me.
Hmm.
I want to help you. And people have had bad situations from the person who said they wanted to help you.
Yeah.
So that's why I believe the first thing you do is codify it yourself, name it yourself, trademark it yourself, whatever it is yourself.
Hmm.
When you do all that yourself, they can't then think of doing some of the things that they want to do. But music is also a funny little thing, the
Hmm.
music part. Because a man stay, I think, the other day, not when I said the other day, it could be 20 years ago, a man went and decided that he was going to say that he came up with steel pan. That happened. A
Okay.
Caucasian man.
Okay.
And the country had to fight it. The country. It got so bad. The country decided, not away. This can't go on.
Right.
So,
Right.
so for music, the musicians who are well trained like you can knows the difference between A, B, and C.
Hmm.
I think the solution is to name A, go and do what you must do to register A, name B, name C. So anybody come now and say, no, this is A and it names so,
Hmm.
and this is B, and also write about it.
Right. Okay.
Write
Hmm.
about it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going into a little bit of the ancestry stuff and the identity. Because as you alluded to, as you said, not I'll even allude to, Caribbean is layered, right? So African, indigenous, European, Asian influences, and more. Um, so how how do you navigate that breadth of cultures? Because I mean, you kind of spoke about it before, but it's such a wide thing, and it's
Well,
beautiful, and that's what makes us us. But how do you navigate that in your work?
because I sit down here, I'm all of them. My grandfather is
Me
from
too.
Guangdong, China.
Me too.
One is Scottish. The
Yeah.
other one is African, mostly African. All kind of something.
Yeah.
Right here. I eat
Yeah.
all those food. I,
Yes.
I, I enjoy all that music. I have been to ritual for Kumina. I have been to Rastafari ritual. I know it, Indian this.
Mm-hmm.
I am not abnormal. I'm not unusual. I mean, I'm just Jamaican. I,
Same here. Yes.
I'm Jamaican,
And
and so
sometimes when you have to when you present that to people who are used to having people decide on being one thing or another,
yeah,
they don't get it. And I'm always pushing back because I don't let nobody tell me who I am. I must tell you who I am, and you can
you know,
accept it or not.
one has to push back because guess what? If you look at ancient religions like Kumina, if you look at it, because I keep telling people didn't start to pray when the Bible write. People was praying from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
People were worshiping from in their way, and it's not
Hmm.
for us to judge. They were still thinking of a divine energy that they want to give respect to. Okay, when you look at that, when my mother is now my ancestor,
Hmm.
she has passed on. Okay, and so if I decide I don't want to acknowledge my Chinese heritage, I'm not acknowledging my mother.
Hmm.
If I decide I don't want to acknowledge my Scottish heritage, somebody out there Scottish I am not acknowledging and I don't even know their name.
Yeah.
So when you decide you're not acknowledging part of your heritage, it is believed by those ancient people that they cannot assist you then.
Right.
They, it's like I was watching a movie with, and it said in South Africa you don't call the name of the dead. That's ritual right there. You know, you have not called the name, have memory of those beautiful ancestors that unfortunately is part of your blood relative.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I could not do that with my technique. I
Yeah.
have to acknowledge, but I wasn't doing it because of ancestors, and I was doing it because it's Jamaica.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jamaica have a matter out of many one people. And
Hmm.
Jamaica have all those people. And unfortunately, all of them in my body.
Hmm.
So therefore, I cannot do a technique that do acknowledge all of what is my country.
Right. 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 Because I think sometimes when people are not as secure or strong in your identity and culture as you are, we look at the US and take that as an example. So, oh, this African retention, this is da da da, and this is all there is. But without acknowledging,
No.
oh, there's the Indian things and there's the Asian
Yeah.
things, and there's even though some of these Caucasian things might have been plantation owners, they're still part of you. they're still they're still and so a lot of times when people say, "Oh, we're talking to the ancestors," a lot of times they only mean the African ancestors. But the
Well,
truth is,
I
you can
always
talk to all the ancestors.
right. But the thing about it is, right, let's imagine that there is really a spirit world. Let's just imagine it. Somebody out there can say you're chatting rubbish, Dr. Stines. There's no such thing. That's okay. That person wants to think that. I'm all right.
Hmm.
I'm never said there was. I never
Right.
said there is. What I said, and I want people to listen because some people don't hear we're talking. I said, let us imagine. It's a
Hmm.
movie that there is a spirit world. You can't see them can see you, right? You
Mm.
think they care if you believe in them or not? They don't care. You think
Yeah.
it matters to them that you don't think they exist? They don't matter to them.
Yeah.
Remember, we are imagining again. This is Disneyland right now. We're in Disneyland right now. Avatar, Avatar. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're called by some people. Avatar. They, if they are what we imagine, they are seeing and hearing everything we're saying. You think them care if you don't believe?
Mm-hmm.
In Africa, they say, not in all of Africa, because Africa big. But
Yeah.
it's because people love to say in Africa. Which part of Africa?
Yeah.
But in some parts of Africa, they say, we like when you don't believe in the spirit world. Because that's when we will tell them, go and take care of that person.
Right. Right.
We're so happy you don't believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is your choice to believe or not to believe. But
Mm-hmm.
if it does exist, then they don't care if you believe or not. So why people having big arguments about, oh, it doesn't exist. Nobody cares. The spirit world don't care what you think.
Mm-hmm.
They're there if they're there. If they are in our Disneyland movie,
Yeah.
there, then please, everybody must calm down. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They just
All right.
exist.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I have this question. I mean, and I've been wanting to ask you for a while. Because I know you're very knowledgeable and very, I don't know what the other word is, but with Kumina, but there's also the Orishas, the Santeria, the
Yeah.
that pantheon. And I know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Kumina, as far as I know, is more Central Africa, and the Orishas are more West. If
Mm-hmm.
how do you, is there a connection with them? And if so, what is it? And or how do you work within both realms? I don't know. I don't
Um,
know how to ask this question.
for me, the same realm, because it's only
Okay.
about, because there is a very important thing in Yoruba that first and foremost is your ancestors.
Okay.
Let me tell you, I tell my children, when I leave this earth, if you forget about me, I'm going to come and box you down. I dump you. Don't forget about me, because I
Yeah.
had to change a diaper. It never smelled too right every time.
Yeah.
You say you want me to be myself? I'm being myself. So to me, they're not two different worlds. I think because
Okay.
both things have great respect for the fact that there's some people who fought for the abolition of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it begins for me.
Okay.
They fought for the abolition of slavery. They died for us. They
Mm-hmm.
fought for us. My God, I can remember them, man. I can say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a time when I couldn't be Dr. Lantoinette Stines with a PhD. I wasn't allowed to spell cat.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't allowed. There was still a time when you're sitting at the back of the bus. All women could not vote. All
Yeah.
those people. So we can at least respect them as ancestors who help us to trod the way we trod now. You
Mm-hmm.
know? Unless you can carry here Selassie and tell me hello to make him shake my hand. He's an ancestor. You understand? Respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not difficult for me. I went into research my own culture. I was very close to Queenie Imogene Kennedy. And and I have one problem. You play Kumina drums a ton fool. I can't stop dance. It's the most beautiful rhythm on a
Yeah.
drum.
It moves
And
me completely. Yeah.
oh Lord, if it's
Yeah.
that alone
Yeah.
that was given to us as gifts, sometimes we over intellectualize, we overthink. We're all trying to be so bright. Everybody want to be bright. Everybody want to be, we don't have to overthink it. It's a matter that we as species, especially as Black people, are functioning how we can now. We can see Black people in government. We can see all of these things because our ancestors fought for that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to carry a gun and shoot somebody and say, "Blah, blah, blah, blah," because our ancestors allowed us to own our own homes, to be teachers in schools, to be nurses, to be doctors. That alone, I think we should remember them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Okay.
That's where it begins for me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and for me, Kumina does that. Etu does that, and without knowing it, every one of our culture in Jamaica is giving respect to what was done for us to be who we are today.
Right. Yeah. And I've had opportunity, like when I studied, I had opportunity to to play and to learn chants from the for Elegua, for Ogun, for for
Oh,
Shango and stuff.
nice.
So I did that when I was at Berkeley. Did that plus so that again used to move me as well because you'd have to play those bata drums and
Oh,
and do
Lord.
the rhythm and sing and stuff. So
It just made me very excited to tell me it's at Berkeley.
yes, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
just
yeah,
made my head go up into the sky.
yeah, man.
Wow. And it's not
And
in some spaces that it should be, but it's at Berkeley.
yes, and it's not just the Cuban iteration of it, but also the Brazilian iteration of it as well. We used to do
It's very different.
drumming. Yeah. And so
The
we
Brazilian.
used to do those chants and I mean that was a class I looked forward to. Like it was like 9 o'clock on a Friday morning. And I'd go to that class. And it's a class I didn't have to take because I was a
Right.
singer.
I'm
But I took it because I
sure,
wanted to take it.
but I'm sure it was very good for you. You were happy to do
Oh,
it. Oh,
oh, of
yes.
course, of course. I mean
Well,
it's still with me now.
well, I have a very close relationship to Orishas.
Okay, okay.
In that
I went
I'm an initiated priestess.
Yes, that much I know. And I have to tell you, my friend in Puerto Rico, who was my roommate at Berkeley, many years after we graduated, he says, "Oh, I'm going through my initiation for Shango. I'm sending you a
Hmm.
ticket. Come and be here while I do this. Be with my mother." And so
You
I did
went?
go. Yes, so I did
Oh,
go,
look at
and
that.
it was a beautiful thing. So I went with him to different priests, and they made offerings to different people in the week leading up to it, and all
Yes.
that stuff. So yeah, man, it was a wonderful experience.
You see, an initiation is not like a baptismal. A baptismal, you take the person, dip them in water, and lift them out. An initiation is 7 days, more than that
Yes,
sometimes.
exactly. Yeah.
Initiation is total cleansing of you in every way possible. A
Hmm.
lot of praying, a
Yes.
lot of chanting, for hours sometimes.
Yep.
It is
Yeah.
long. It is
Yeah.
not just boom bam and it done.
Yeah.
It's a whole heap.
Yeah, he was
When you
secluded in a room by himself, just with the
Yes,
people we'd go and visit
yes.
every couple of
There
days
were
and stuff.
a minimum of 3 to 4 days.
Yes.
And that is when you have to quietly meditate and think about your life and all that kind of thing. It is very different. Very different.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Boy, I love it. So
Yes.
another question. So, because with what we're doing, what you're doing, what responsibility comes with representing ancestral memory through the body?
First of all, when you do it, I have a new piece that I'm slowly but surely falling in love with called Kalunga.
Hmm.
And the Kalunga line is the line between when you die and you reach and resurrection. That
Okay.
Kalunga line that happens in the ocean, where you're going from for the 9 days until you reach the ninth night. Now, the ninth night thing is in a lot of cultures. It's not in
Yes.
just our culture.
Right.
And your question was, remind me the questions because I said
The
all of
question is,
that.
what responsibility comes with representing
Right,
ancestral memory
right,
through the
right.
body?
I feel that is a big responsibility because when you play a Kumina drum, it is believed that you immediately call ancestors. Similar to Bata, you're calling Orishas.
Hmm.
So there are certain rituals that need to be done to cleanse the space and to protect the dancers and the drummers. Okay? And I feel that that has to be done. Also, I tend to, my piece starts with the voice of Queenie Imogene Kennedy singing the song Kwali Kwali One Den.
Hmm. Call
You know,
it. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Queenie is singing. There's a version on YouTube that is very wrong, I must tell you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Very wrong sung by somebody else.
Hmm.
But because Queenie herself taught me the song, and because it is Queenie who went into Mile and got the song
Hmm.
for the first time,
Right.
I kind of know the difference between the right song and the wrong song.
Ah, okay.
So, for me, that is a prayer that Queenie said is very close to the Our Father prayer.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
tend to begin all my Kumina choreography with that song
Oh, really? Okay.
because I want to give respect
Hmm.
to the divine energy. Because although it might have another name, King Zambi Mpunga, It's only one God. And it was written in the Bible that to say he would have many names.
Mm-hmm.
And the many names come from language
Right.
and culture. So he does have many names. He or she or them or what energy have many names. So King Zambi Umpunga, and I'm not pronouncing it properly because I don't know if it's Nzambi Umpunga,
Mm-hmm.
is what the queen they relate to in Kumina. And so I believe when you're doing something that is ancestral memory, is a specific culture, you can't do it without respect. You can't make a joke of it. I see people do choreography, and the facial expression does not go with the dance. The
Mm-hmm.
reverence is not there. They don't know that when you see the libation, it usually is real white rum coming out.
Right.
And it's just like when Jamaican men buy a bottle of beer, then pour a little bit on the ground first
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
the ancestors. It is
Right.
really a real part of Jamaica's culture. Them buy the
Mm-hmm.
bottle of beer and you see a little bit go up on the ground. Them don't. It just happens. It's natural for a Jamaican man to do that. Same way, you pour libation for the ancestors
Mm-hmm.
to say thank you. So when you're doing choreography, using those things, it is not a joke thing. And if you don't, as the Rastaman say, overstand it, ask questions, research it, find out what you're doing. And I find I am consultant to a movie that's going to be coming out of a series
Mm-hmm.
that did a Kumina scene.
Okay.
And they had me explain in depth for days to everybody, the whole cast, all the cameramen.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to the venue with a babalao and a
Mm-hmm.
Kumina person and cleanse the whole. And it was a great house with a hell of a lawn. But they were feeling energies before I even heard about it. And so they treated it with a great deal of respect. I
Good.
have to say that. A great deal of respect and reverence.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Kumina scene, they hired real Kumina people.
Great.
So real Kumina people were brought. They added some drummers to it, but all the drummers they added also played Kumina.
Okay.
They might not be a practitioner, but they play Kumina with
Mm-hmm.
respect.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot do these things without respect. And if you want to just do it. Recently, I went to an event where these some people did a dance to a music that is represents Jab Malasi. Jab Malasi comes out of Grenada and other islands. It's a serious ritualistic where they cover themselves with black.
That's a jab jab.
Jab jab. And they were doing like dance hall to the people music. You know who was in the audience? Grenadians who got
Oh.
and Trinidadians and
Mm-hmm.
others who know they were very angry and very hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They do music nice. It
Yeah.
have nice energy, but it's a serious ritualistic piece of music. I'm going to have to plug in my laptop. It
Okay.
is about to die.
Okay.
So I'm going to plug it in if I can only
Yes, man.
find it. Yes. And I am going to turn on the light here because it's getting a little dark.
All right.
Because you say you want proper lighting, not true?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. Is it a little better?
Yeah,
You
man.
want a brighter light? It's good?
That's good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
I can see you well. Mm.
Yeah. So you go. I went to a show when somebody was doing Rastafari Naya Bingi. And there was this start with so long Rastafari. And the girls had on this is an American a alternate back.
Okay.
Skirts that look like almost short dancer type skirts. To
Mm.
so long Rastafari, I call me.
Yeah.
What? What you
Mm.
thinking?
Mm.
You don't have a respect for the other person's culture. It's like I'm going to America and do something African American. I can't do that. I don't know the culture. I have to first, and I wouldn't even try researching it and doing it. I don't need to do it. I have enough culture at my yard. I respect their culture. I have great respect for that culture. Why would I try to do it? Because
Hmm.
their history is very different from our history, you know? And it's something we have to acknowledge and respect as well.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned briefly about the being a consultant on film. I know you've done that for a few films and
Yes.
TV series, but you've
Yeah.
also appeared in a few,
Yeah.
and even some recordings. I know you've worked with some different people.
Yes.
Um, uh, what have you what have you been left with? What have you learned about how the culture and the cultural representatives maybe are dealt with, um how in those spaces, especially with crews coming from other countries, um what is your interpretation of how they deal with you, or with Jamaicans, and with the culture and with the spirituality? Is there respect? Is there general respect, or is it not so much, or is it depends on who?
Well, the last part is true. Depends on who.
Okay.
And but I must be walk with a certain energy. I don't know if it's a box down energy. I don't know if it's a box down energy. But I have a tendency, if you're not respecting my culture, I'll leave.
Yeah.
I have a love for my country, a deep, deep, deep. I thank God that I I like being Jamaican. I'm happy to be Jamaican. And I'm also, most of my work came from the help of others like Queenie,
Okay.
you know, others.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like when people disrespect. So I don't have that, because people look at me and think I'll box them down. And I'm a short little woman. I never get in a fight in my life. I don't know what it is, but I demand a certain respect for my culture
Mm-hmm.
on any set that I go on. Okay. And I ask for the script. And when I look at the script, if I see things that don't make no sense, I make them know. So I don't understand what you wrote, why you wrote it, please. And then I write, do you understand what you wrote? And
Mm-hmm.
when I hear, no, I don't understand it just so nice. I said, but it's not a part of my culture.
Yeah.
And that would never happen. So you can't put that on film and call it Jamaican culture, because it would never happen. So
Mm-hmm.
I am very much like that on any set that I work.
Great.
Maybe sometimes people wouldn't hire me either, because they know that I am going to come and I'm going to say, can I see the script? And if it's not respectful of the culture and the country, I am going to make a comment.
Okay.
But I found that most people I've worked with appreciate it. But especially when they say, I never know. I have never had a problem with that. They,
Okay.
they say, oh, like, you never know. Thank you very much. That has happened to me more than once.
Okay.
Okay. And it has to do with Yoruba as well, You're going to go to the ocean. How are you going to go to the ocean? You're going to Yemen, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is a way to walk to the ocean if you're going to the ocean. And I explain to them what you're going to do in the ocean. Do you know the difference between Yamoya and Olokun? Do you know what you and when I ask those questions, they're also always very grateful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have not had the problem. I have found people growing. They're growing with a cultural respect. It is growing,
Okay.
and I give thanks for that.
I mean, I don't want to ask you to call no name, but you can call name. What is the best experience you've had in that regard? In like working with a team or on a set, either being consultant or being being an actor, or whatever in the situation.
Ashamed to tell you this. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name. But because I have two films that have very similar names, that's why I don't want to call
Oh,
the name. They have very similar names, and I don't want to call the name because I might call the one that is not the right name
okay,
for the
okay,
one that I really want to call.
gotcha.
But one of the films are going to be launched at Carib Theatre shortly.
Okay, okay,
So shortly it is going to be filmed. It is going to be shown in, and I worked with Hensel.
Okay, Justine.
Yes.
Okay.
And I find every time I work with Justine Helms on films, I am very comfortable.
Yeah. Okay.
So anytime Justine Helms is involved in a film, I don't worry
Okay.
because she is very respectful of the artist, you know,
Yes.
and because she herself is a filmmaker, and because she's the blackest white woman I know. I always say to her that you are the blackest white woman I know. But she's not a black white woman. She's just a Jamaican woman.
Yeah, she's Jamaican. Yeah.
She's just Jamaican. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of a lot of our people, you know?
Yeah.
But when I was in New York, I worked with a director called Vinette Carroll, who did the play Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope, Arms to Box with God. She was Jamaican, Vinette
Okay.
Carroll. I
Okay.
hear she might have been the first female director on Broadway. And that is the woman that did, when it comes to my dramatics, you see I do on stage,
Mm-hmm.
she caused that.
Okay.
She taught me and
Okay.
took me like her own daughter, you know.
Yeah.
And Mama Ken is who caused me to overstand methods of technical dancing.
Okay.
And so in my dance world is very much different from my dramatic world, is different from my choreographic world. Because my choreographic world includes choreographing on my own company and other places,
Right.
and videos and movies. I enjoyed working on Dancehall Queen.
Mm.
I have to mention that.
Okay.
I enjoyed working on that. That's the time when I was right there in dancehall with everybody. You know, never worked with. I used to dance with Bogle. I never worked with. I used to dance with him. I said, go
Okay.
dance with Bogle. I was the first to put dancehall on stage in Jamaica on a
Wait,
proscenium.
I have a picture. I have a picture. Wait.
Yes, yeah. It was called Boyaka Boyaka.
Yes.
And it was a big hit. And the costumes, I didn't, it's not me. I brought a girl, get a girl to come design the costume. Because I said to myself, them have
Yeah.
to design, them will wear the clothes, them must come
Right.
design the costume. And I was criticized heavily. One person said, you don't have to put the grape on stage, you must put the grapishness of the grape. I said to myself, what is that, Father God? All you must do is have a little smell of the grape, but you don't have to see the grape. I said,
Yeah. You put
okay,
grape
then,
cousin. Put grape cousin on stage.
right. So now, yeah, grape cousin. So that was how I was criticized then.
Okay.
And I also was criticized because of Sata and Hunfor, that Lakadko is the naked dance company.
Good. Let's talk about who for, because we have to. This is I keep saying every time I say, I tell you my favorite choreographed work of yours. My favorite
Yes,
work of all time.
yes,
I remember when it was premiered
yes,
at UA Dance Society for their
yes,
25th anniversary, Paper to Silver. I remember that. My
yeah.
friends were in it. Sabdale was in it. Marcus James was in
You
it.
know, he was here recently,
Yes,
Saturday.
because his daddy passed. Yes.
His daddy passed, yes.
Yeah, and Marcus James was in it. Who else? Shelley Maxwell was in it.
Yeah.
Neela Ebanks was in it.
They're all
Uh,
famous now. Look at that.
yes, Aisha Davis, who now is
Yeah.
on West End, is
Yes.
was in it. And the energy was high, for that little time period there.
Yes.
It just felt exciting, and
Yes.
I remember the drum starting with this in this piece,
Do, do,
and
do, 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 do.
I was mesmerized from then. And then I saw the headpieces with the drum, and then
Correct.
the
It
big.
was designed by Russell Watson, who was at Enderman College,
Okay,
who's from Barbados. The entire costume is by Russell
and
Watson.
the big the blackened lips, the big blackened
Yes.
lips.
But yeah, because
Um,
it's everything that represents what, because Hunfor means spirit,
okay,
spirit of the drum. And so you see the things on them, that's what wraps up the djembe drum. And you see the
yes,
goat skins on them. And you
yes,
see
yes,
the
yes,
hat, which is a drum skin, the drum top of the hat, and they beat it on top of the head.
yes.
And they also beat the floor. The floor becomes a
I
drum.
remember that. But I all of that, but also they they had every dancer had particular facial expression
Yes.
that was it's like this just belong with the dance. This is made for this dance, this facial
Yes.
expression. I mean, you didn't ever tell me those. This is what I'm remembering from then. That I remember all of those details from then. So
Yes.
trust me when I tell you that this is my favorite
You
dance.
and you and D Burns.
Really?
Yes. If I go to Philip Shorrock to have a season and there's no Hoon for D Burns, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
He says I'm not lighting it. I'm not touch. I'm gone. Where is Hoon for? It's
yeah.
coming back on stage next season.
Wonderful. I mean, and I love the other iterations of it because I've seen it develop and change a
Yes.
little bit and stuff.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
mean, and I still love it. You
Oh,
know?
thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you
yes,
very
yes.
much.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I want to play a little something, just so people can see you moving a little bit.
Me?
Um,
Oh boy.
in during COVID,
Yeah.
our friend Shelley Maxwell, who's now the it girl in UK for choreography and for what's the word, intimacy coordination.
Mm-hmm.
She had this idea, said, "Oh well, we're all stuck at home.
Mm-hmm.
Make some music now, and then I'll get some dancers. We're gonna do some choreography." And so I
Mm-hmm.
did. I made some music. That was based on. I think I used some samples that was from Olive Lewin when she did her traveling around. So this All Forgiven is from there, and then I've made music around it and did some other stuff. And you are here, so I'm going to show you little parts.
Don't you know, yes we know, don't you know, yes we know, all things are all forgiven, don't you know, yes we know, don't you know,
There you
yes we
pull up the screen now.
know, all things are all forgiven, don't you know.
And there's Shelley. It was quick, but yes, that one of the things where we it was a joy to be able to collaborate with so many people across
Yes. Look at
across
that. It's
continents.
beautiful.
Yeah,
COVID caused COVID was an awful time. But other things happened in COVID
it was such a
that won't
productive time for
happen
me.
again.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
just thinking about it won't happen again.
yeah. I got so
Yeah.
much done. I got so much done, creatively during
Yes.
COVID. Because I'm an introvert really, so I can sit in a room and just create.
Me
But
too. Me too. I'm a very boring person. I tell everybody
yeah,
that.
yeah,
My excitement comes out through my choreography, but preparing for it, I'd rather be by myself.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm good at just being by me. I enjoy me. My
Me too.
mind. Yes. Yes.
All right. So I mean, we're getting to the almost. What are you still curious about creatively?
Um, I'm taking on a last challenge. And I don't know if this is curiosity, this or the fact that I'm crazy again to take off this channel. But I would like everybody to know and everybody to help me because I think I need to develop what I call Lantoinette Performing Arts Academy.
Okay.
And I have written, I have what I want to do is not does not yet exist in the Caribbean, because it's a whole different angle that I'm coming from,
Okay.
and I can't say everything, but I this is what is my last challenge. I have to. What you said before about people don't scared that people will take this from them. A dance technique needs to go to the world, and so I want to create this academy that people can come in and get certified,
Hmm.
even with level 1 or level 2. Um, they might not be able to become professors because it takes time for that. You'd have
Right.
to stay for 4 years. I am now setting the curriculum for it to now become an associate degree. But I have a colleague in London, Paulette Brooks, who I'm going to be speaking to about. She went from a no degree to a master's degree. I don't know how she did it, but she did
Life,
it.
life experience.
No, not she. She
Oh,
created a master's degree program, and
okay.
there was no bachelor's.
Okay.
I don't know if how she did it, so I'm gonna ask her. Yeah. So I don't want to necessarily create the masters. I want to create the bachelors.
Gotcha.
But yes, I want to create Lantoinette Performing Arts Academy. It's not curiosity really. Curiosity is for me is when we will no longer be so colonized. When will decolonization rivet into our brain? But there's two kind of colonization, you know. We always talk about Eurocentric colonization, but there is American-centric colonization as well. In that we seem to go from Eurocentric to becoming Americanized.
Right.
I nothing wrong with America, nothing wrong with Europe, but we have such a rich culture that we can just be what we are,
Right.
Caribbean. You know, and then we can take what we have and share it with America, and
Yeah.
take some of America and share it. It's so much better. It's like eating different meals, you know. Some people want Chinese food, Indian food, little food, right? But if we mush it all together, it going to taste bad,
Yeah.
you know. And that's what is starting to taste bad. You know, if
You
we
know
can
what's so
just,
funny?
yeah,
It is that you can be so, and I would talk for myself, I can be so into the culture, into my culture, that it don't matter where I go, no matter how much time I spend away from Jamaica, I'm always in it. And,
yes,
and no matter how far I go, my foot always, one foot always in it.
right.
You know, and so I don't feel, and even though I'm, you know, the work that I'm doing, that I do with the culture is more innovation than replication. You know, it's more pulling apart and
You're,
making new
yeah,
things.
you're creating.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't feel like I'm diluting the culture. I feel like I'm adding
No,
to it. You know what I mean?
right, right.
You know. So
You know,
it's
I'm going to go back to an old group that influenced me a lot, and that was Third World with
mhm.
Sata Masagana.
Love that.
That
Yeah.
if you look at that song and you hear all of the classical training, and then you hear the bingy on top of it, and the boom da dum da, that's Jamaica.
Yeah.
It's taking what we have and creating. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Is what I did with Lantec. Take what we
Yes.
have and create on it. That means we are, and my identity is everything come together.
Right.
I don't have to borrow nobody's identity. My identity is what it is, so I can share it with you.
Yes.
And your identity is what it is, so you can share it with me. And so that part of what I'm talking about, as well as, no, we still feel the men still, a lot of the, still have to have the pants dropping off. The bleaching is still happening.
Hmm.
And when I look at the woman, you see that very dark skin, I envy them. I said, Lord Jesus, look how she's pretty.
Yeah.
Beautiful dark skin. It's so pretty. You know, and
Yeah.
them have a hope of pigmentation so them stay young long. You know, if we
Yeah.
could just appreciate who we are, what God make us,
Yeah.
it would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
But it was so easy to do because you make it very easy. You make it, you know, Nadia said to me, he's a very good interviewer. You're going to find it that it is easy to do. It's true.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for having me. I'm very
Oh
humbled.
man. Oh, I'd have I can sit and talk with you for hours. So, all right, let me do my little spiel, and then remember, don't leave yet. But let me just do the spiel, and we can wrap up a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Dr. Stines, thank you for your wisdom, your work, and for the way you continue to shape how we understand culture, creativity, and the body as a living archive. And to everyone listening, may this conversation remind you that culture isn't just something we inherit, it's something we carry, shape, and express every day. So this has been Mike's moment of cultural embodiment. I'm Mike. Keep finding meaning in your moment.
Ashe.
Ashe. I'm Michael Sean Harris. I hope you're entertained and informed, and that you feel inspired to join me again and again in my moments of